Hey, what's up guys? John here. In the last 4 days, Evergrande filed for bankruptcy.
China's Evergrande, the embattled company, has filed for bankruptcy protection in the US.
Country Garden, one of the largest developers in China, is now on the verge of filing for bankruptcy to try to restructure their debt. And the shadow banking industry in China, and you're talking $150 billion industry, not letting investors or consumers get their money out.
The shadow banking industry in China provides a critical part of financing. The board secretary, Wang Qiang, earlier this week admitting that they've missed payments on a batch of products. They don't have an immediate plan to cover payments as short-term liquidity has dried up.
What's going on here? Well, JP Morgan Chase CEO Jamie Dimon came out saying that we're likely walking into a global financial contagion, and I agree with him. You look at what's going on here in America in the last 5 months, just the last 5 months. You had Silicon Valley Bank fall, First Republic fall, PacWest get acquired by Bank of California because it was on the verge of falling, Signature Bank fall. You had all these problems that have already been started continue just to get worse and worse and worse every single month. But I'm telling you, things are about to really heat up. And I'm going to break that down for you very clearly in this video with verifiable facts. So please hit the like button, YouTube will share this content to educate more people about what's actually going on. If you want to fix your credit, we'd love to help you at my company, GreatCreditFast.com. That's GreatCreditFast.com. If you have late payments, medical bills, charge-offs, foreclosures, bankruptcies, repossessions, you have a problem on your report, get a hold of us. In many cases, it can stay in your credit report for 7 years from the date in which it was filed, and we're stepping into the greatest wealth transfer of all time. If you have bad credit, the odds of getting financing are basically zero. So we'd love to help you at GreatCreditFast.com. Take a look at this. Evergrande, China's property giant, files for bankruptcy 10 hours ago, right? 10 hours ago, filed for bankruptcy. Well, look at what's going on in China before we dive into this so we can clearly connect the dots. Total debt, combined in the household, corporate, and government sectors, climbed 281.5% of GDP, right? Second quarter, according to Bloomberg calculations, based on data from China's central bank and National Bureau of Statistics, that's up 279% in the first quarter. 279% first quarter. Well, remember 2 years ago when, this is September 2021, when they've been kind of putting rumors out that Evergrande's in big trouble, there's big problems there. Well, BlackRock and HSBC started acquiring large positions inside of Evergrande at that moment. Well, back then, right, around 2021, 2022, they've acquired $113 billion in debt in 2021 to 2022, right? $113 billion in total debt just inside that timeline. Well, they have $300 billion in total debt. They've defaulted on its $300 billion in debt, right, in 2021. So you're starting to see that problem that's going to likely continue to get worse. Well, the global economy could feel the effects of China's Evergrande crisis. Here's what investors should know. It could be a self-fulfilling prophecy. The liquidity issue. Real estate is so important to the Chinese economy and the financial well-being of so many Chinese families. Home ownership is over 90%. 90%. So many people buy apartments as an investment. So if this thing is not contained, it could become a real black swan. The fact that China's economy is so large could affect the rest of the world, Chang added. If China were to have a serious economic issue because of China's Evergrande, the rest of the global economy would have contagion from it. Well, here's this new company that's new in the spotlight. Country Garden suspends trading on onshore bonds amid talks of debt restructuring. This came out on the 14th of August, 4 days ago. Well, Country Garden, one of China's top property developers, suspends trading in 11 of its onshore bonds on Monday, adding to speculation the company may be preparing to restructure its debt as it struggles to raise enough cash in time to avoid default. JP Morgan hikes default forecast amid merging as Country Garden derives China's contagion fears. The magnitude of the increase in JP Morgan's default risk assessment underscores fears that the Country Garden debt default will have a far broader ripple effect on the Chinese property sector and the broader economy. Country Garden has a far bigger and broader portfolio of developments than Evergrande, which fell into default in 2021 and announced offshore debt restructuring program in March. Well, you start to look at their debt pile, right? 2025 is going to be a brutal year for Country Garden unless something happens, right? Unless they're saved somehow, but I don't see how that's possible. We're already right here, 2023, 2024, 2025. You might say, okay, well, that's their problem. Well, look at what's going on here in America. We're on the same exact timeline. Our U.S. economy is on the same exact timeline as China's. Elon Musk says the state of commercial real estate debt market is by far the most serious looming issue. Well, 2.5 trillion. So look at this. On Sunday, right, he tweeted the next 5 years, more than 2.5 trillion in commercial real estate debt will mature, claiming that it's far more than any other 5-year period in history. All the while, rates have more than doubled. The letter claims only 60 to 70% of commercial real estate is occupied, right? This is a real problem. This is a very, very big situation. And this situation looks like it's only going to continue to get worse. So this shadow banking, China's shadow banking crisis sparked by defaulting property developers could trigger a broader threat to economy. Well, look at what's going on here. A liquidity crisis in the trust company could have far-reaching consequences for the broader economy. Retail investors with exposure to Zhongrong products could see their wealth diminished. Listed companies could receive reduced capital for growth and investment, while local governments already saddled with debt problems could face further hurdles when implementing measures to prop up China's declining economy. Look at this. This lady right here. So videos of an incident appear to show around 24 protesters in Zhongrong, at least one representative of the company, and around 10 police and security officers. In the latest sign of turmoil at the trust company, those liquidity crisis has fueled alarm with financial markets among China regulators, right? Why doesn't the company pay us back, she said. It's already matured. Your financial statements say there's a profit. So they're saying they're profitable, but they're not letting their people get their money out. To me, that's something that I think we're going to start to see come here. So the shadow banking industry is a $138 billion industry. $138 billion industry. And let's not forget, Janet Yellen, she came out saying that she wouldn't be surprised to see more bank consolidation. We're going to see global consolidation over the next coming couple years. I'm not saying that to concern anyone, but just look at what's going on. We're already starting to see a lot of banks already step into some really, really tough times. And we're likely going to see interest rates stay higher for longer, which is going to really do what? It's going to put more pressure on consumers. They're going to spend more on interest, on credit cards, on personal loans, on auto loans, on adjustable rate loans, home equity lines of credit. What is this going to do? It's going to continue to deplete the savings of consumers. And if consumers have less money in the bank and they have more defaults across all of those obligations, all these debt obligations, banks are just going to be holding more and more and more losses, positioning larger banks to come in and capitalize on all these small regional banks. As this is happening, property developers, a lot of commercial real estate investors that bought deals the last couple of years at these very, very low interest rate, high valuation price points, it's going to be a problem. You're going to start seeing these people that bought these 4 caps that are underwater and they can't hold onto their deals, give the keys back to the bank. Just more and more problems, considering the fact that 67% of all commercial loans are held at these small regional banks. So you start to just connect the dots here. You look at the problems that's happening right now in China. You look at what's going on here in America. It's very, very similar. And I personally think we're going to walk into a world of uncertainty, things I believe that are going to happen in which people can't even comprehend. People, they forget what we've seen the last 3 years. We've seen nothing yet. I mean, look at this article here. This is Politico. This came out today, right? This is just context. It came out today, 8/16, stopping the next one, right, in its tracks. This is the guy that he wants to stop the next one, right? This guy, right? And look at what he's saying. Just for context, he wants to surveil it, right? He wants to surveil it, and they're already right now testing wastewater, and then he wants to develop this routine program, right? So you start to look at what's going on here. Like, this is a complete restructuring of everything that we know that is normal. That's what's happening right now. So if people are looking at these headlines, they're saying, "Oh, you know what? This will get solved. This is just another little problem, little bump in the road." Look, everything is about to change, everything. And I'm not saying this to concern anyone, but I'm simply saying this because I want people to make smart, well-informed, forward-thinking decisions and really just make decisions based on facts, not based on what they want to be true. Because what we both want to be true doesn't really matter. It's what is actually true. And I believe we're going to start to see this massive restructuring. We're going to start to see this restructuring happening in China, in America, all throughout the world. It's going to be unreal. It's going to be unlike anything that we've ever seen before. And I mean, it's just going to get crazy. And I personally think that people that are getting ready for this massive wealth transfer now are going to have an advantage over those that are in denial about what's actually going on. The people that are preparing now, that are saving cash, that are getting out of high interest credit card debt, that are positioning themselves where they can move and pivot with crazy times, they're going to be the ones that are going to be able to make better decisions when push comes to shove later on. What do you think about this entire situation? What do you think about China? What's happening there? What do you think about the U.S. economy? How this is all correlated? Drop below. Let's have a conversation about this. And if you want to fix your credit, again, we'd love to help you at my company, GreatCreditFast.com. That's GreatCreditFast.com. And catch you again in the next video.